And we're live with Power Talk here on New Earth Television.
Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm Adrienne, and I'm your host today on Power Talk. And boy, we're zooming up to an equinox tomorrow. Spring will finally be here. Hallelujah. Looks like the cold is gone in Tallahassee, I'm hoping. We got a lot of rain last night. My plants are all happy. And I'm happy, and I want to introduce y'all to the Rebelicious Tuck Self. She is an author. She is a coach. She's an expert in human design and the gene keys as well. And she's just one of the all-around good people that I know, and I'm happy to have her as a friend in my life. So welcome, Tuck.
Hey, Jean. I don't know how come I expected you to say, and she has a big mouth. That's
that. No, I just thought that one for you.
A big mouth. Loves to talk.
Loves to sing. She loves to talk. She loves to dance. She makes incredible videos that encourage people. So I hope y'all will go out on her website, therebelbell.com, and sign up for her newsletter, get to know Tuck, and maybe you could be the recipient of one of her incredible singing and dancing videos one day if you need some encouragement. So, Tuck, you have been recently adding to the volumes of information that you know about human design and the gene keys, and I swear on a stack of books that you probably know more about this subject than anybody I've ever met, and maybe anybody. Because you look at it from both sides, from the human design standpoint, as well as from the gene key standpoint. You meld them both together, and you got to have a photographic memory or some kind of access to a database, because you're able to look at individuals' charts and see them from both ways and give insights. But you've been recently studying a new facet of this. Can you share what you've been studying?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually have a photographic memory that actually shows up in my chart. I have said that with great humility over the years. It scares my husband at times.
I bet.
I wanted to read something. I'll be brief, Jean. Back in 1997, I read a book that changed my perspective about life, and it was The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And he reads, success in life could be defined as the continued expansion of happiness and the progressive realization of worthy goals. Success is the ability to fulfill my desires with effortless ease. There are many aspects to success. Material wealth is only one component. Success is a journey, not a destination. Material abundance in all of its expressions happens to be one of those things that makes the journey enjoyable. And it includes good health, energy, enthusiasm for life, fulfilling relationships, creative freedom, emotional, psychological stability, and a sense of well-being and peace of mind. Even with the experience of all these things, we will remain unfulfilled unless we nurture the seeds of divinity inside of us. True success is therefore the experience of the miraculous. It is the unfolding of the divinity within us. Something happened to me in 1997 where I got that I am open, Jean. I am open to all structures that communicate to my inner being what is possible to live that kind of success. I had lived my life chasing the almighty dollar, chasing what I thought was possessive material success. And every time I would achieve something, it was like, friggin' empty. Mm-hmm. So I was looking this morning at where I've worked. A large corporation, a small company, a family-owned fitness facility, a nonprofit organization, a large network marketing company, and as a solo entrepreneur. And I'm sharing all that with you in that the course, the certification that I'm involved in now around what we call BG5, Basic Group 5. It's not so much the human design aspect and the gene key aspect that you and I are familiar with, that is about personal awakening and personal transformation and clarity around the essence of who I am and my genius and how to express that. It's okay. What environments do I work best in? Do I work best alone? Do I work well in partnerships? What am I like in a small group? What are the talents and skills and gifts that I bring Will I even be noticed? So it brings information that can further, I say, not only fulfill me. 70% of the people, from what I understand through research, are not psychologically or emotionally connected to who it is that they are or what it is that they're doing. And the gift of all of these systems, human design, the gene keys, and particularly this particular BG5 and OC16 bodies of work, is to look inside of us, look at our charts, confirm and affirm that I am my own authority. My authority's not out there. I can gather whatever information from the outer authority. My choices are made in here. And given that I do that, I will always attract myself to the right partnerships, the right small groups, and the right environments that allow the resources that God already has everywhere to come into me. Like, I can't draw them in unless I am authentically expressing my own design. And so what this course has done, it's changed the language a little bit. Jean, you are a generator. Mm-hmm. I am a manifesting generator. In this language, we are called builders. You're a classic builder. I'm an express builder. And I know you and I have talked about this before. It is, I'll use the word imperative, that you and I do what it is that we love to do. That we respond only, Jean, to what we have that full to, where we're compelled to give ourselves to a person, an event, or a circumstance, and knowing that when we do that, the effortlessness that Deepak talked about, we will get what we need. We'll get what's rightfully ours. We'll get what's appropriate for us to get. Not what my mind thinks I'm supposed to get, but what's naturally mine to get. And I'll flow in the ebb, and flow of the universe. So I'll stop for a minute to see if you have a question.
That's so important. And it's interesting. I was having this conversation with a client last night, and he was talking about how he's done all the right things. He's had the good jobs. He's had the okay jobs. Right now he's an entrepreneur, and he never seems to quite be able to grasp what he considers to be success. Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem to get the number of clients flowing to him or the amount of money flowing to him that he desires. And I suggested to him a point that you made that I think is so important, that anytime one looks outside oneself and forgets that God is the source, mm-hmm. and it's all coming in that way and not that way, then you set yourself up for major disappointment and disillusionment. Mm-hmm. But you've got my interest about this BG5 stuff, because I look at my own career, and I spent 30 years working for big corporations. Some were a little bit more entrepreneurial than others, but some of them were extremely conservative. And we're talking the Bell system here, and getting more conservative than that, unless maybe it's IBM. I never worked for IBM, but, the same corporate structure exists in both of those two places. And now I am a solo entrepreneur, writing and working with clients out of my home, where most of the time I don't even see them face to face. Could I have found my joy and my peace quicker if I had known about my chart and, what my innate structures are in human design and in the gene keys, rather than wandering around in that huge pond where I was a very small fish?
Yeah, interesting that you would ask that question. As someone who is a lover of these systems, as a lover of the systems, of course, I would love to say, of course, human design, according to Ra, was created for the children so that we as parents could begin from the moment that they come out of the womb, looking at the dynamics and the characteristics, the strengths and the traits of their designs, and holding that vision, drawing that out, rather than pushing the homogenized way of educating and what it is that we do. Because that's what it was. It was pushed into you and me in school and in churches. That was the original intention, so that we could raise children from the beginning to be who they are. So one answer would be, yes, of course. The other answer, when I look at the specificity of your chart, Jean, and you and I both carry the belief we're on our divine sacred paths, whatever happens is meant to happen. So with that being said, I look at the fact that you are a 6-2. Your profile, your public role is the objective observer, potential talent. The 6 is the objective observer. The 2, which is an unconscious aspect of you, is the potential talent that's available. All 6s live that tri-phase life. So your life, Jean, has been about gathering all of these experiences through all of the challenges so that you can be the example, the leader, the role model, the witness in the world based on what you've learned. So we wouldn't want to erase anything that you've done. However, I looked at your chart this morning from the perspective of, okay, let's look at Jean. Does she work best alone, solo, in partnership, in small groups, and in large groups? And according to what I see in your design, you actually could do well in all of those 4 areas, in that you have a lot of individuality in your chart, a lot of individuality. So individuals are self-empowered. We walk to the beat of our own drum. And you also have a trait and a characteristic in your chart that says, do not manage me, do not try to control me, right? You also what we call collaborative assimilation. So for you to truly feel fulfilled, Jean, collaboration is important to you. So I was thinking, oh, well, isn't this great? She's a solo radio. She does her own radio. She's partnering with people every week collaboratively. Therein you're fulfilled. You're in conversation and in partnership with other people. So yes to the solo. You write your own books, right? Mm-hmm. You have your own radio show. Yes to being in partnership. And when we get to the small groups and the large groups, you are someone as a builder who can feel seen, I'm going to say seen, felt, and heard in a group, and that what you bring to a small group and a large group is vision and capacity, directional knowing. You actually can connect the individual to the collective, the individual to the tribe through this vision and this knowing. And in large organizations, we call you a binder, a regulator, someone who can bring people onto the same page and to a common cause. So I did a little research on you this morning. And yes, you have the capacity to be effective in all of those environments. What I would say is to be in those environments correctly, honor your decision-making strategy, which for you, again, you and me both, Jean, do what we love to do. Say yes to only what expands our hearts, and then wait out the emotional wave so that clarity can emerge for both of us. Now, that's you and me. Everyone has a different design.
Right.
So some people work better alone. You and I, projectors, in this work, we call them advisors. They work best one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Because their aura is focused and absorbing, and sometimes interfering, but focused and absorbing, given that they're surrounded by too many people, they will tend to lose focus. Mm-hmm. So knowing what our career types are, how we best interact with people, what environments are best, that's the information that this work brings.
And one of the things you said that I resonate with very well is that this following the passion and being the binder. The times when I was happiest in the corporate world would be when there would be a challenge thrown out, nobody else wanted, but it interested me, and I would go, okay, I'll learn all about that particular product, and I'll be the one that demonstrates that particular product and that, is the subject matter expert on that particular product. And then I would really be in my element. And, back in the day when, right at divestiture, AT&T had a product called the Data Phone 2. It was a higher level modem. Well, I was Ms. Data Phone 2, and I went around making, presentations with an engineer in front of large audiences talking about the benefits of Data Phone 2 to, potential company customers, and I loved it. I enjoyed that a lot.
Your individuality, your independence, your freedom is important. So again, in the times that we're in, I mean, I feel like this is a storyline that you and I have been listening to for a long time. People want to feel fulfilled in jobs. They want to, they're working for a higher purpose than a paycheck.
Right.
And human design, the BG5, gives individuals the information that's required internally for each one of us, for me, to know, okay, who am I? What are my traits? What are my characteristics? Where might I be out of alignment? What groups do I work best in? So that fulfillment is a possibility and a potentiality.
So people who are watching us today and have had their interest piqued by what we're talking about, how can they find out more?
Well, I must say I am in the process of certification. I am not a certified BG5 analyst yet. However, there are things that I can do at this point in time. Reach out to me in any way that works for people. Remember, I have a big mouth and I love to talk. Individuals can go to my website, which is the Rebel Bell, and that's BELLETHEREBELBELLE.com. My email is Tuck. That's my name, TUCK, @therebelbell.com. Or, Jean, you know what? People can pick up the friggin' phone and call me at 803-665-0847, because I love to talk. And I was going to read you in the beginning of our course, Jim Carrey. There was a quote that was given to us by Jim Carrey, and he says, "What do people need that your talent can provide?" He said, "That's all you got to figure out. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency that there is. You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love." For you and me and the rest of the world to have our personal information on what we're broadcasting. I'm running my mouth. I'm broadcasting something. Mm-hmm. Am I broadcasting a clear, concise, beautiful signal, or am I broadcasting static? This information will get you clear on that. Am I allowing shadows and distractions to keep me from my full expression? This body of work will give us that information as well. And I'll just give a little side caveat. There is also the possibility when you look at your chart to look at how to bring in the resources that are correct for us. When I am living my design authentically, not only will the resources come to me, they'll come to me and I will use them effectively. If I'm out of alignment with my chart and resources are coming to me, I'm not going to be able to hold on to them. I'm going to continue to struggle because I'm not being authentic to my design.
Exactly. And it's even deeper than that. It's just to your absolute essence that you have to be authentic to. But, even though you say that you're not fully certified in this BG5 process, there's a lot of bedrock information that underlies this that is going to be important for people who are watching this show. You could absolutely begin the process of changing your life just by understanding your human design and something called the gene keys. So you said the human design was created for the children so we could be better parents to our children. Tell me about the gene keys.
Wow. In one word or less? No. The gene keys, here's what the gene keys does for me. So I'll talk about my personal experience and then I'll say a little bit about what I have thought Richard did. You said it a minute ago, connection and essence. Mm-hmm. Words are words, right? Tonality and essence is what it is. I am a form through which God's source will flow. It's going to flow impeded or unimpeded based on how authentic I am. Human design is a structure, and I have watched people get slightly locked into the language and into the static structure of the chart. What the Gene Keys has done, it's taken the 64 hexagrams, the 64 codons in the genetic code. Your chart, you have 26 specific codes that you express. I have 26 of the 64 that I express. What the Gene Keys did was take each of the 64 archetypal expressions, genetic codons, whatever you want to call them, and make them communicate them as an essence experience, like love, compassion, harmony, beauty, peace, which is beyond words. To me, that's the language of spirit. That's the language of the heart. If I try to talk, I'm going to talk from up here, whereas the essence of God and my communication with spirit and God comes from the heart. That's how I view the 64 gene keys. Mm-hmm. It's a language of essence that comes from spirit. There's 64 expressions of it. You've chosen yours, I've chosen mine in our charts. The golden pathway is a journey that we take through all of the 64 gene keys, if you will, but most particularly my pathway to my own personal genius, my pathway connecting with you and others and God from an open heart, and then mine, once I got that, excuse me, I was going to say that shit in place, once I have that grounded, the world comes to me, Jean. The world coalesces, form coalesces around me. Resources come to me in a way that's simple, where I feel vital and alive, and I'm not struggling, and I'm not efforting, and I'm not making it hard. It's with joy, it's with creativity, it's with ease. So to me, the gene keys is more of a right brain spiritual. There's not a lot of left brain structure to it, which I like. So that's how come I like going from one to the other over the years, in that it gives me different perspectives of the same information that's coming from source through two different structures.
Sure.
You know, I don't know how that sounds.
Yeah. No, I think that expresses it very well. And it's interesting because, so many things I think have coalesced to bring me to where I am in this now moment, in this present breath of now. But a lot of stuff really started shifting for me when I met you and you introduced me to the gene keys. Because I guess the first thing was I had some validation for why I felt the way I felt, and how I managed to get where I've gotten. And it made so much sense. So
was the validation for you, was it here or was it Gestalt here?
In the beginning, it was here. And then it has moved to, again, right now I'm in this word coalesce. It's moved to coalesce the gut brain, the heart brain, and the head brain, so that they're all kind of on the same page. Mm-hmm. And through that process, holy moly, there's not one aspect of my life that is the same as it was. How long have we known each other? 4 years, maybe? Mm-hmm.
That's that progressive realization of a worthy goal and the journey versus the destination.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
To be able to witness that, like, that's what floats my boat. To be able to, enter into these bodies of work with you at one point in time and then take the journey with you. I get to see you change, you get to see me change, and, the connection and the essence is palpable.
And then what really blows me away is that you and I can just be having an offhanded conversation about the price of tea in China. And all of a sudden you will say, and Jean, because you have this 52 something or another in your chart, that's exactly why you're doing what you're doing right now. And I'm like, where did she pull that out of? How do you remember? Because you work on so many people.
I told you I have a photographic memory.
I know, but how do you file it?
I have thought that when something is in the heart, like your inner speaks work, mm-hmm. Given that something is in my heart, it's an aspect, it's a part, it's integral to who I am, I don't even think about remembering it. It's like when I look at you, when I look at people, and then I look at their charts, I can see the highest potential of who they are. I can actually see and sense where the shadows and the distractions and the obstacles are. And that's the magic. Magic needs a structure. Yeah. Magic needs a structure, and this just happens to be one of many structures, and one that I love. And to be able to take this work into companies and corporations and solopreneurs who are breaking their backs to create 6- and 7-figure, incomes. Like, I want to go back and say, are we doing what we love to do? Am I doing what my gifts inspire so that I can have the essence experience of life. Be my authentic self, doing what I love as a natural outflow of my gifts so that I can have the most freaking successful, vital experience of life possible.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
No, because it's really all about getting to that joy line, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's what the golden pathway is, the pathway to your joy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it looks like the pathway to your success, but it really does take you to joy.
Yes. Yes.
So, what is next? After you finish this one, I know you never slow down, so.
I'm curious to see where I go with this work. Like I said, I have background working in corporations, small companies, nonprofits, and I have most recently was with the nonprofit. And I know that just the little things that I would come out of my mouth, I am really clear. I was inspiring to the people around me. I was clear. I was empowering. Actually, a couple of them told me they thought I was quite weird until they got to know me. And I am inspired, Jean, as we shift and institutions begin to crumble and the way that the group, tribal, the old tribe is dying.
Yes.
What's going to survive in the future? The whole point of human design and BG5 is to give you and me what we each need to trust our inner authority so that when systems break down and crumble, I'm not depending on that. I am grounded and solid with my line as to who I am and what's authentic for me. That's the beauty of what we have to share with people in all of these bodies of work. So what's next for me is to see where it takes me. Remember, I love uncertainty. I am clear that the next thing, place that encompasses this information in the most inspiring, empowering way possible will show up.
Absolutely, it will. Thank you so much for joining us today and just sharing just a tiny bit of wisdom about this new process because it really is fascinating. All right, so viewers, it's The Rebel Belle, TheRebelle.com. Her name is Tuck at therebelbelle.com is the contact. And give us that phone number one more time.
It is 803-665-0847.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you. And join me again next time when I'm going to have another great guest for you, and we'll explore another aspect of standing in our truth and living from our power to have joy and success in our life. And until then, remember, people who take responsibility for their lives create the reality they desire.